right, this is an upcycled Dollar Tree craft project. I had this pickle jar that I put in my craft stash for who knows what reason, and it paid off today. So I just took the lid off of it and I painted it white with white chalk paint. I think I did 3 coats total just to get complete coverage. But the nice thing about chalk paint is it dries very, very quickly. So you can do 3 coats, you know, one right after the other with like 20-30 minutes in between. Then grab a little bit of Spanish moss from Dollar Tree. You only need a tiny little bit. Hot glue it to that inside of the pickle jar lid. You could use like a salsa jar or like a large mason jar, really like any kind of leftover jar you like. Just the wider the better. But then once all that moss is in place, then it's time to add a couple of embellishments. So I just kind of tossed 3 little carrots into the jar. And it takes a little bit of finagling. And then Dollar Tree has these moss bunnies. They're in a 3-pack in with the spring crafts. So I just hot glued a little bunny in. And then very carefully, this is kind of tricky, I very carefully just kind of twisted the jar onto the lid. I say that I twisted the jar onto the lid, not the lid onto the jar, right? Because it's going to be upside down. But here I had to redo it once just because I couldn't, like the carrots weren't at the right angle. You want like the bottom of the carrot to be by the bunny and then the tops to kind of angle outward. So give it a twist, give it a shake, do what you got to do to get everything to lay the way it's supposed to. And then I just finished it off with a very, very simple ribbon around the base. Just some 3/8 inch black and white check ribbon that I use on practically everything, and then tied it with a simple bow. Okay, for this craft, Dollar Tree has these little mini gumball machines that are Easter themed, and I was like, these are way too cute to pass up. So the base I just painted with white chalk paint. Yes, I could have used spray paint, but I live in Minnesota, so spring crafting is usually done when it's like 20 degrees and snowing outside. And I don't have a space to safely spray paint in a heated area. So for these types of projects, I just use white chalk paint. It's fine, it's a bit more time consuming. I think I did 4 coats for complete coverage on this, no big deal. Then I just hot glued a little bit of Dollar Tree Spanish moss right into the bottom of the little gumball machine. I didn't even cover like the whole base because I knew that my carrots were going to kind of cover up 3 of the mini carrots. So these are the ones that come in the 6-pack, not the 4-pack, the miniature ones. Pop them in there and then twist the lid on. And then I thought it looked kind of bare, so I just embellished with a bit of jute rope from Dollar Tree. You don't need more than 1 package. I think I used like a fraction of a package of jute rope. And then kind of hot glue it all the way around and make sure that the seam is always in the back just so you have like a nicer finished look. But I think the jute rope kind of gives it more dimension and a little bit more detail without resorting once again to my black and white check ribbon, which I feel like is kind of starting to get overused at this point, so I apologize. Okay, Dollar Tree has these little plastic cloches. Am I saying that right? For like making little terrariums. So for this one, I took the base off and I painted it with white chalk paint. I didn't even do like the top platform part. I just did like around the edges. So it was 2 coats, let it dry 20 to 30 minutes between each coat, super simple. And then I wanted to stagger all of the little carrots inside the little plastic cloche at different angles. So this is kind of similar to my reverse canvas project where I like layered all the carrots in a pumpkin patch. I cut all of the carrots at varying heights. I was careful not to let the orange twine completely unravel when I cut it. So I tried to like wrap the twine back around and cover as much of that white styrofoam as I possibly could before then hot gluing the carrot right onto the base of that plastic cloche. And just be cognizant that you don't cut them, that they're so tall that they don't fit in that lid. Then I took a wooden craft stick and my miter shears and I just cut 2 little pieces to make a little sign. So it's just supposed to look like, I even like offset it so it's kind of like at an angle. And then I just took like a Sharpie pen and I wrote carrot patch in all capital letters right on there. And I set it right in front of the carrots. I actually set it in there and I was like, oh, that looks a little too tall. So I just pulled out my miter shears and I trimmed off a little bit to make it a tiny bit shorter. And then I hot glued it right in place. But that's it, super cute, a little carrot patch under a glass dome.